Hey, friends, it is Liquidy with another Travel Tips Thursday. I know we've been a little lacking on my lives lately, but I am back and ready to tell you something super exciting because a lot of people love going here and it has not been opened in forever. But Thailand just announced recently that they are now open. Of course, everything in COVID travel comes with restrictions, and you may be joining us. Oh, by the way, thank you for joining us. And you may be joining us on YouTube. You may be joining Travel Tips Thursday on the COVID Travel Update podcast. But either way, thank you for joining. And every Thursday, well, practically every Thursday, I jump on at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to give you some of the latest and greatest, newest travel information and what is opening. From COVID. So it is, when I'm recording this, it's live on YouTube December 17th. Thailand is announced the opening of its borders to tourists from all around the world. And of course, there are policies in place because you can't just open your borders and have no policies, especially with the pandemic still going strong. And so you can go to Thailand, but you do have to apply for a tourist visa, which is called a TRV, or a special tourist visa, an STV. And you do have to do a 14-day quarantine at a government-approved facility. So these are very similar requirements to what Hawaii had before. Now Hawaii, you can go as long as you have a COVID test and you have an account and all this other stuff. But if you're looking to go to Hawaii, definitely check out a previous episode of COVID Travel Update, or check out my YouTube stream on my Thursday travel tips playlist, because I do have information on how to get to Hawaii and how to get into Hawaii without the 2-week travel restriction as well. But anyway, back to Thailand. So I'm super excited that Thailand's open, although I've never been there. I've heard so many wonderful things about it. And if you're gluten-free like me, apparently Thailand is one of the better places to go if you are gluten-free, especially one of the Asian countries that's gluten-free. So if you do want to go to Thailand, you have to have one of either two visas that I mentioned, the tourist visa, the TRV, or the STV, which is the special tourist visa. You can get a TRV if you are going short term. And if you're going long term to Thailand, you want to get an STV. You also have to have a certificate of entry, which is called a COE. So definitely a lot of paperwork involved in going to Thailand right now. So you definitely need to plan ahead. With the COE certificate, a certificate of entry, health insurance covering COVID-19 and a 14-day quarantine is mandatory for both. So you do have to have health insurance going into Thailand. You have to apply for the COE certificate after receiving your visa. And the director of Tourism Authority in Thailand said they're planning efforts towards rebuilding tourism, and the new visa rule and procedures will act as a catalyst to ensure a lot of safety that is maintained while they open up the country for international tourists. So on the official state government travel website from the U.S. Department of State, it does say that for your passport, you do need 6 months from the date of entry, which means that, say you plan on traveling January 1st, your passport has to be valid through July 1st to go, because that way if you get stuck there, your passport doesn't expire while you're stuck in Thailand. So you do need to have 6 months of your passport, which is valid. So if you're not within, and that's a requirement for a lot of countries. So check your passport date and see when it expires, and make sure you go 2 to 3 months ahead of time in order to make sure you have enough time to get your passport renewed. You have to have 1 page per stamp. You don't need a tourist visa if you're going less than 30 days. And yellow fever can be a vaccine you want to consider. And there are no currency restrictions and no restrictions for exit. Of course, there are restrictions for going there. For U.S. citizens entering Thailand for fewer than 30 days, you don't require a visa, but they do strongly recommend that your passport be valid for 6 months beyond the date of your arrival, like I just mentioned. Thai immigration officials or airline staff may ask for your onward return ticket So make sure you have a paper copy of everything, because especially when you're traveling to a foreign country, I recommend this to everybody. We all love to use our phones. Like I love to use my phones. It's so convenient and everything's on there. But A, if your phone dies, or B, especially when you're in a foreign country and you may not have great access to internet, it's always great to have that paper copy with you. Business travelers, U.S. government employees traveling on official businesses, teachers, retirees, and those planning to stay longer than 30 days, you have to check with the Royal Thai Embassy about visa requirements. And I will put all these links, if you're listening to this on the COVID Travel Update podcast, in the show notes below. If you overstay your visa, you will be fined. Depending on the length of overstay, you may also be arrested, detained, deported at your own expense, and banned from re-entering Thailand, which is definitely not on my list of things to do if I go to Thailand. So make sure you don't overstay your welcome in Thailand. Definitely carry a copy of your U.S. passport, identification page, and current Thai visa to help avoid detention. You always want to make a paper copy of it and have it in a couple different places. So what I've heard from a lot of people who do adventure backpacking is they'll take paper copies and put like one in their shoe, put one in their pocket, like a zipper pocket in their pants, and keep another paper copy of their identification pages in their backpack. That way, if their passport or one or a couple things get stolen, they always have an extra copy of their ID pages somewhere on their person. That's a really great travel tip, especially when you're traveling abroad, and especially when you don't speak the language. Also, Thailand's entry-exit information is subject to change without notice. So I will put that Royal Thai Police Immigration Bureau and the Thai Embassy's link in the show notes below, so you can check out more about that. The CDC website offers information about health precautions you want to take. And also some other things you want to know about it is that they do have a terrorist recommendation for Thailand, but I have not heard of anybody getting hurt there. Of course, obviously, use your common sense and know the criminal laws that are there. It does say LGBTI travelers. There's no known legal restrictions for same-sex couples, but LGBTI groups do report that in the case of sexual crimes, police tend to downplay sexual abuse claims from LGBTI victims. So keep that in common if you are a member of the LGBTI community. Also, what else do I want to tell you about this? Travel and transportation. Let's see. For additional travel information, you definitely want to enroll in the Smart Traveler. Oops, sorry about that, guys. My internet glitched. Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, which is STEP, to receive security measures and make it easier to locate you in case of emergency. I'll put that link in the show notes as well. There's a toll-free number in United States and Canada, which is in Washington, D.C. It's 1-888-407-4747. And in Canada, it's 1-202-501-4444. From 8 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, if you need to call either of the embassies. There's a State Department travel website and worldwide caution travel advisories. And there's also travel safety abroad. So you can go to Thailand. It is a little bit restricted right now, like a lot of things are, but you can get the certificate. You can go. Definitely check with all of the links that I'm going to put in the show notes. If you're listening to this on COVID Travel Update, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will update the description to have the links in there. Not today, it's probably going to be a couple days, but definitely check those out. Make sure you make all your plans way ahead of time, so that you have ample time to plan and have all your paperwork in place and get to you, because I know people have been having issues with paperwork getting to them. Or you can just wait a few months until it opens up and come back. But it's super exciting that Thailand's back online, because I know a lot of people love to travel in that country and they love to go there and enjoy all the wonderful things Thailand has to offer. All right, my friends, I hope you're having a great day. We are having a nice snowy day here in Utah. And as always, please enjoy food, enjoy travel, and enjoy life. This is Liquidy signing off, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday if you don't see me next week.